Hello there, I'm the student and today I wanted to show you the path that I found to infinite mana generation. And let's just get right into the video. Okay, first I've got the provinces from Savoy, then I fought an independence war against Savoy with France and Austria on my side and the Pope and Florence, which was extremely easy, and after that I've fought 2 wars against Switzerland because of AE reasons. And after that I formed Switzerland because they have a mission tree and Geneva doesn't, but I kept the Genevan ideas. Now as you can see, I've conquered just a little bit as Switzerland in the mountains took the gold mine of Austria, and then as the Ottomans are advancing so fast, I fought a war against the Ottomans, released Bulgaria and Serbia, and got a connection to Muscovy, which I conquered next. And I'm actually apologizing for the border Gore, but yeah, that is the most effective way to do what I want to do, so sorry for that. At this point I was already reformed, but I switched to Protestant because I wanted to get this nice land share of Protestant and Reformed so that I could later then switch between those religions easily via rebels. And after that I was not conquering much, I was just saving money, and I was saving money for the Cologne Cathedral that I started building in 59. In 63 I fought a war, a no-CB war against a native of South America to release Cleves as a native tribe. You can watch a video why I did that. But I basically did it to get Cleves as a tribe, and I've save-scummed a few times until he got the tribal government type, and then I vassalized him. Then the second tier finished on 71, and then the third tier finished actually 73, because I took a few loans and I sold crown land and so on. But yeah, I did it for the bonuses that it gives, and as you can see it gives church power, but most importantly cost of enforcing religion through war, minus 33%. And now we're getting right into the reason why this is so strong. And the reason for that is a combination of the governance reform that I have, which is Millenialist Theocracy, which gives -1 devotion, costs of enforcing religion through war another 10%, and morale damage plus 10%. But most importantly, it gives monarch power from force converting other countries per development. And it does exactly what it says over there. It gives you 1 mana point per category, so 3 mana points per development of a nation that you convert. Which means that, for example, if you convert Strasbourg over here to your religion, which it is already, I'm Protestant, then you would get 25 mana of every category. Now I said it's strong in the combination because the Cologne Cathedral gives obviously an additional 33% cost of enforcing religion through war, and there is a really interesting thing in Genevan national ideas which gives another minus 20% of the same modifier. And then there is another modifier that gives the same thing, which is in the divine ideas over here, Alpha and Omega, which gives cost of enforcing religion through war minus 30%. And if you haven't already calculated this in the head, I can just show it to you. It adds up to minus 93%. And just to show it to you, I prepared my armies over here already. I'm going to declare war on the Netherlands, which is Protestant. I can't convert him right now. But he's allied to Spain, and I'm going to co-belligerate Spain and call in France and the Pope just to make it easier. You can see no problems with that. Portugal is also in that war and their colonies. And as you can see, the Spanish war score cost, province war score cost, is right now 352% for me, which is obviously because of the diplomatic ideas that I took, because of the age bonus of Age of Reformation from other religions, which they obviously are, And the Protestant faith has also a faith bonus, which over here Justified Conflicts gives 5% aggressive expansion impact, but also for 10 years it gives this one over here, Church Aspect Cell, minus 10% war score cost versus other religions. Obviously there would be the Malta Force over here as well, but I don't need it because on top of that, for converting, there is obviously my ridiculously high amount of 93% reduction, which means that if I go to the peace screen of Spain, I can force religion on Spain for 25% war score. So 25% war score to convert the second greatest power in the world to your religion. And as you can see over here in the great power score, Spain has 930 development. And as I said, what the Millenialist Theocracy does, it converts every point of development that you convert a nation of into basically just into monarch points. Which means that if I convert Spain with this 25% war score, then I'm going to get 930 mana of every single category over here. And this is obviously Ironman mode over here. As always, you can also find the link of the game file in the description to rewatch that I don't tell bullshit over here. So to prove it, I'm just going to let this run through in a time lapse, and we're going to see when I'm done with that. Okay, this is it. As you can see, 66% war score on the Netherlands and actually 54% war score on Spain and 44% on Portugal. And even though Portugal wasn't a co-belligerated nation, the war score cost is only 144% for me, which means that the conversion cost is actually 20 war score. It is 20 war score with the doubled war score from them being not non-co-belligerated nation. So normally it would be 10 war score to convert Portugal. And yeah, I'm just going to do it and just have a look on the mana points that I have on the top over there. I'm just going to click it and you notice, boom. Portugal is now officially a Protestant nation with just one Protestant province, which is his capital. Now the same I can also do for Spain, with the exception that Spain obviously has 942 development. And this means that it would go over the capacity, which it doesn't. Actually, you're going to notice it's going to cap out at 999 mana everywhere. But I just have to spend the mana first, obviously. Now I have so much mana that I can just go to the development screen and just develop the hell out of my country. Because it doesn't matter. Those points that I'm spending right now, they're not going to be lost or something. Those points are going to be returned immediately to 999 after I piece out Spain. And as you can see, I've got like 30 development or something plus the idea that I was taking, and I could obviously take technologies if I weren't as far as ahead of time already. And now I have 14, 10 and 0 mana points. But after I converted the Spanish nation, I'm going to be having, as you can see, 950 mana in every category just from converting them to the Protestant faith. So yeah, let's just quickly finish offensive ideas. over here, no problem, still have 200 mana left. Obviously at this point it is not infinite yet, because Spain is now a Protestant, which means I can't convert them a second time. I could obviously do that with France and with Commonwealth, and that alone would be so much mana that I would never have a problem with mana generation for the next 100 years or so. But it's not infinite. And that's why I did this border Gore with Muscovy. I'm actually cutting Muscovy off of all the nations that could possibly attack him. So Ottomans, Commonwealth, Sweden, the Timurids, and their only borders that they have with AI is with Uzbek, Chagatai, and Perm, and Ryazan over here, which means that they are not going to lose any land from this point on, which is the most important part of that. If you go to country, and development, you see that Muscovy has 718 development, which means that if I convert them, which I can because they are heretically orthodox, then I would get 700 mana of each per conversion. Now obviously the war score cost of Muscovy is below 300%, which means that the war score costs for converting them will be also extremely low. And this is the reason why I'm just going to go into Muscovy and show you how I planned on doing this mechanic infinite for the infinite amount of mana that you can possibly imagine. And keep in mind, this is within the game mechanics. This is not an exploit or something. I'm not using save files or something to manipulate anything of that. This is just in the game mechanic, casual modifier stacking. Okay, that's it. Sadly, I had to fight a war with the Ottomans at the same time because they were allied to Muscovy, but never mind. Now I've got that, and as you can see, I have enough war score to piece them out. It takes only 21 war score to convert them to the Protestant faith, and obviously still having the Millenialist Theocracy enacted, this will give me 719 mana points of each category. I don't really have time to spend all that on deving certain provinces, so I'm just going to spend it over here just to show that the mana generation of this is actually infinite. I'm going to pump everything over here, even though it's so expensive. But yeah, let's just do it. Just a short one for a short truce, obviously. But ideally I wouldn't even need to wait for the truce. So let's just do it. There we go. Perfect. Can take tech, and yeah. And now Muscovy is Protestant. And to convert them again, they would have to flip back to Orthodox, which would be possible, obviously. Or I could change my religion, and actually as Christian religions, which you need to be Protestant or Reformed to get this reform over here, you can switch through this convert button just to the other religions quite easily. As you can see, I can just convert to the Reformed faith. You can do this every 10 years, so if I do it now, I can't do it for the next 10 years to the Protestant faith again. Okay, so I can just convert for the price of 100 prestige over here, so I'm just going to do that. Now, as I'm Reformed, I still have the same government type. I could theoretically force convert them again to the Reformed faith instead of the Protestant, right? There is one downside to that, which is the reason why it doesn't go without a little trick, and that is that the Cologne Cathedral only works if it is the same religion of the owner, which right now is Protestant, but I'm Reformed, obviously. And to solve that problem, I have my little tribal vassal of Cleves over here. As you can see, he is a native tribe because I released him. I'm going to link a video in the info box and in the video description so that you can watch the video how this works in detail. But I'm basically going to feed them the province of Köln. But before that, you have to keep in mind that he has a lot of devastation because he is a native tribe. So as long as he doesn't settle, he gets devastation in his provinces. So you just have to dev the devastation away a little bit, which shouldn't be a problem with infinite mana over here. Yeah, but now I'm going to feed him the province of Köln, which is Protestant, so a problem. And after I fed it to them, I'm going to let 1 day pass. Yeah, the religious turmoil ends because of that. And as you can see, Köln is now an uncolonized province with the Catholic faith, because it's a generic Catholic in the beginning of the game. But indeed it's actually no religion, because there are no natives and it's not a colonized province. Which means that if I move my capital over here to Berg and send a colonist, which I have because I have the expansion ideas extra for that. So if I send a colonist over here, in 3 days he's going to arrive. And as you can see, the Cologne province is now reformed instantly, and that's because, for those of you who don't know, a colonist basically does the same thing as a missionary and as a culture converting interaction if there are less than 1,000 natives in those provinces that are uncolonized. So as there are 0 natives, obviously, because it's basically not an uncolonized province, it changed to reformed, as you can see. And you might think that as you cannot see the monument, that it isn't there, but if you go to the modifiers over here, you see that the cost of enforcing religion through war is minus 93% again, and minus 33% because of the Cologne Cathedral, which works because this province is now my religion. And as it's now my religion and as I have 93% reduction again, I can now declare war on Ryazan, which is guaranteed by Muscovy, after I paid off their debt. Let me just do that real quick. Muscovy is going to join, and if I declare war on that and have a look at the peace screen of Muscovy, you notice I can force religion again on them for the doubled war score, obviously, because he's a non-co-bellitrated nation. But I can force religion still only for 42% war score, and he's going to become reformed, and I'm going to get, obviously, the 700 mana of each category again. There we go. It took me a little bit less than 2 years until I've got them for that, but yeah, whatever. I can enforce religion on them again for the reformed faith in this case, so I'm just going to do that after I spend my points deving. Okay, that's it, and now I'm going to convert them to the reformed faith, get 700 mana in each category again, and Muscovy is now reformed. Now you might ask how it's going to go further than that, because I cannot convert to the Protestant faith through this interface for another 8 years right now, but I can convert obviously through rebels. And if you have a look on the ledger over here, the charts, it shows it pretty accurate. There is basically 3 big portions of religions in my country, which is Protestant, Reformed and Orthodox. And all of them have basically the same amount of provinces, because that's what the charts over here say. They say how many provinces are that religion that they are showing. So Protestant provinces are 41% of my provinces. If you send a missionary over here, for example, in this case, you're going to notice, if I let 1 month pass, that those rebels are going to change into Protestant zealots over here. And I can accept their demands to change my state religion. Now keep in mind that this chart over here doesn't say how you can accept those rebel demands or not, because those rebel demands are based on the percentile of the development of the country. So the biggest portion of your development has to be that religion. While this chart says only provinces, but if you have extremely high-deft reformed provinces, such as I have in this case in Geneva, this might be a little bit wrong, because reformed has actually more development than 27%. So at one point, if you do that really a lot, if you want to bring that to the maximum that you can think of, I would recommend you to go to the province overview chart over here that lets you sort by religion. And then I recommend you just to calculate, just to add up all of those developments together one time, that you know how much, and write it down, that you know how much development Reformed or Protestant you have. And then if you want to convert to the Protestant, like I'm going to do right now, I'm going to just convert in a second. If you want to convert, then you just dev up one dev click more into the Reformed or the Protestant religion, whether you want to convert to Protestant or Reformed. And then there is majority Reformed or Protestant in your country, and you can convert through rebel demands over here. And yeah, you have to spend those mana points anyways if you want to do it like I do. So you can as well just spend it on the next religion that you want to be. There's one other thing to keep in mind, and that is the Cologne Cathedral thing. As I said, it has to be your religion so that it counts, but as I also said, the colonist works as a missionary, which means that if I convert to Protestant right now, I can just do it now to show it to you. If I convert to Protestant via rebels over here, as you can see, now I am a Protestant again, after I just converted Muscovy to the Reformed faith. Now, if I let 1 month pass, or even a few days, this is going to change to the Protestant faith. You're going to see that. There we go, because at every month tick the game checks whether the colonist is a missionary as well, if there are below 1,000 natives or not, or if he doesn't, and if he is, then he converts that province instantly, which means that right now I have again the modifier of the Cologne Cathedral, even though I was Protestant and this was Reformed earlier, but now it's Protestant again. So you can do that basically all the time. You can just switch religion, and this province will automatically switch to your religion as well without converting it instantly after 1 month tick. So as you have no problems with that anymore, you can just go into Muscovy again. And in this case actually Muscovy is guaranteeing not only Ryazan but also Uzbek. So I can just declare on Uzbek and fight Muscovy again. And as Muscovy was converted to the Reformed faith just a second ago, I can now convert him to the Protestant faith again, the second time in this campaign, which means that I'm obviously going to get again 700 mana points in every category. Which means that, let's say this war takes another 1 year or so, then it took me like 4 years or something to convert Muscovy 3 times to my religion, which means that I've got 3 times 700 mana in every single category in just 4 years. Which, if you calculate this, 4 years means obviously 48 months, and 700 mana points times 3, because I've converted him 3 times, if I let this run a little bit longer, would be 2,100 mana points per category in 4 years means 43 mana generation extra on top per month in every single category. This means that if you have a look on these numbers over here, this number is not 10, indeed it is 53 if you calculate that mana generation from the conversion on top of that. And if you imagine you have 53 mana generation every month, you will understand why I said earlier this is going to be the path to infinite mana. So I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, put your opinion down in the comments and we're going to see in the next video.